Hello and welcome to the Up All Night channel. Today I'm going to be unboxing this here Kult of Athena shipment. Oh yes, for the first time in 10 years, got a new blade. Thank the Lord, I've got a new sword. Ah yes, this should be fun to unbox. Who knows? Let's see if I can adjust the camera here. I want to unbox with, how about a modified Spyderco Resilience? Let's see, I reshaped the blade a little bit so that I could see the ramp. Fits my thumb perfect. Maybe Spyderco should do that to the Resilience, because honestly it had too much blade on it. It was too wide. Ironic, considering what I'm about to open. Alright. Already opened this side, so now I just gotta... It's got a lot of packing tape on it, a lot of cardboard in there. That's good, because I read one review guy said, whoop, wow. Oh, so the sides open like that. Okay. Cardboard out of here. Oh, the pommel's on this side. Paper for days. I'm like a kid on Christmas. Okay. Oh wow, it's wrapped around the sword. Oh man. Oh, this is great. It's wrapped like a mummy. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Around and around we go. Wow, they went hard at this. And it's good, too, because I was worried they would... The crossguard looks so dainty. Ah, yes. And around she goes. There we go. Oh, very well packaged. Oh, this is going to be fun. Yes, this handle fits nicely in my hand. I was worried what the handle would be like, because compared to the blade, the handle looks so thin, but that fits my hand real nice. Let's get this off on the ground. Cardboard all around me. But that's cool, because then I have something to test the edge on. Nice bit of plastic. The leather belt that everybody says they can't figure out, I'll try to figure it out. Let's see if I can get it off for now. It should be optional. I don't think it's... Oh yeah, that comes right off. Ooh, that's neat. So there appears to be some metal wire wrapped around the wood core on the inside, and it gives it this nice textured look on the scabbard. I like that. So it's very wide. Ah, yeah. Are y'all ready to pull it out? Yeah? Ooh. yeah, that's nice. Let's see here. Yeah, there's some rippling. You can tell. I played around with it on the sander a bit, probably. It's pretty sharp. It feels sharper on one edge. Let's see here. I got lots of cardboard here. Lots of paper. Ooh. Well, this is pretty thick, so I'll have to try it on. Excuse me a moment. Nah, it's more so tearing. Cut a little bit, but no. Yeah, I'll have to touch it up probably. I don't know if I'd. Oh yeah, I would not half sword with this, or would I? It's not that sharp, so. No, yeah, this would be really difficult to half sword with. You have to grab it really low. That'd be funny. These are quite the brain pokers, though. A small crossguard. Some wraps. This is just an unboxing and first impressions, by the way. And my first impression is, what an epic sword. My hands are kind of small, so this actually does kind of work with two hands. I don't know. What do you think? Huh? Feels really good in hand. A lot of people are probably looking at me like, oh my god, you fingered up the blade so much. You better oil that. I don't use oil. I use Flitz polish. It just works out better. You know, it keeps the blade nice and dry and slick and without any lubricating crap on it. Some parts of the sword are sharper than others. Ooh, I know, let's do this little test. It sounds like it'll pass this test with flying colors, actually. Hold on. Lightly. No, yeah, that's solid. Oh, which is more than I can say about my cheap budget katanas of the past. But, wow. What a blade. Yeah, I saw Skallagrim do the review on the Albion Principe, and I was just like, wow, what a sword. Don't think I'm willing to wait a year for it, though. 3 years later. 3-4 years later, I get the Ronin Katana. And this is the number 3. This is not the 3-2. This does not have the Arabic inscription on it. I just prefer a cleaner looking design that way. When I order, I was thinking about getting the medieval sword by J. Koo, but after seeing a review where he swung it at some bamboo, thin bamboo, mind you, not even that thick, the crossguard came ridiculously loose. This one, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that because the gap is so slight Here. Oh, that lighting is bad juju. There we go. Look at that. That gap is small. That gap is really small. It is not that big. Small, tight crossguard. Big sword. Let's take it outside and swing it a bit, shall we? So I went outside and I decided to test how heavy it is to swing. I've seen a lot of reviews saying the point of balance is terrible and that it's nearly impossible to swing. One-handed swings weren't all that pleasant, but it wasn't impossible. If I had a shield and I wanted to use it one hand, I would feel okay, comfortable using it with one hand because I have a shield. However, it would definitely be preferable to use it with two hands. I just wish the handle was a little bit longer. I comment here saying how sharp it is. It's sharper in some areas than others. While sharper in some areas than others, it's sharper than a lot of swords that I've owned in the past. I've owned a lot of $50 to $100 some katana in the past, and I've cut bamboo with them, so I said, you know, maybe I should be able to cut bamboo with this. There's a little glitch there in the footage. Never mind that, you didn't see anything. Now, I decided to try doing some Thwart Cuts, or my poor attempt at doing Thwart Cuts. I have more experience with katana than long swords and war swords, but I decided to do some different spins, see if the crossguard gets in the way, and in what way it does. Felt pretty good to handle it. It wasn't all that bad. A lot of people say that the heaviness of the blade, the point of balance, is too far forward. As you can see, I have not a whole lot of trouble moving it around. It's not incredibly difficult to move around. It's definitely more difficult to move around than, say, a 27-inch katana. However, this is nearly... It's a bit less than a foot longer. You know, it's what? That's what? Okay, a 27-inch katana, right? So a 27-inch katana, this is a 36-inch sword. So this is nearly, this is nearly a foot longer than a katana. So it being heavier and harder to use is a bit understandable, especially given the wide blade and the forward point of balance. I do wish that they gave it a heavier crossguard and or pommel, especially the pommel. The pommel does wiggle a bit, similar to Skallagrim's review in his longsword. There is a slight wiggle in the pommel. I might go in there with a syringe of super glue and see if that'll get it to stop wiggling and stop moving around. I comment here saying that the sheath retention is very nice. Okay, fresh out the box, the sheath retention was very nice. At one point, I don't know if it was the humidity or what exactly did it, but it got so tight that it was hard to shove it back into the sheath. However, that wore off. The moisture got out of there. I don't know how or when, but it was easier to put back in and take out of the sheath again. The scabbard. It was honestly not the worst sword I've ever handled. I've handled katana that were way worse, way overbuilt, and nowhere near as good. I say in the next video here, I'm going to cut tatami and bamboo with it. And then in here in the next footage, I comment now. The reason I'm doing a voiceover, by the way, is because the wind was horrible. I had played the footage and I was like, oh my gosh, this wind is terrible. I'll just have to do a voiceover. So yeah, the sword bit me, and I said the sword's thirsty, so we're going to cut some water bottles with it. And by water bottles, I mean milk and tea jugs, because they're more fun to cut. They're a lot easier to cut. You can get rings out of them. You get more cuts out of a water jug like this, you know, a gallon water jug. It's definitely a serviceable sword. It cuts very nicely, and you'll see here very shortly that it cuts like a dream. And I also was saying that this 18C blade, it really ought to be able to cut this, right? And I was like half expecting it to crash into it and knock the bottle over, but nope, it diced it. I got a ring, and then I cut this nice clean in half. I was looking for damage because I thought that ring sound was me hitting the bricks, but no, it was actually very easy to stop the sword short enough of hitting the bricks. And I was actually a decent distance away. Those bricks look a lot closer than they really are. It pierced very nicely. It's honestly, I understand now why people say that the katana isn't really meant for piercing, because while it can pierce, it's usually very difficult for me to pierce through a water bottle with a katana, like all the way through. And this pierced all the way through. So I was very happy to see the piercing ability. I got some rings out of this, and then I knocked it over and got a ring. But I got about 3 cuts per water bottle, which is nice. You know, for semi-amateur swordsman swinging a new sword around for the first time, getting 3 cuts out of a bottle is pretty decent. It's not the most skilled thing ever. I'm sure plenty of people do it. However, I was very happy with the performance of the sword. I was able to cut with just the first 10, 12 inches or so of the blade. I was able to swing through the target nice and clean. All in all, I very much enjoy this sword. So far, anyway.